Okay, guys, our last lesson was on ratios. Okay, just two numbers, right? Showing a comparison of the quantity of two numbers. Today, we're going to talk about something called unit rates. But before we get to exactly what a unit rate looks like, I want to talk about one thing first. And that is our first word. The very first word is called a rate. Everyone? Rate. All right, so here's what a rate is. It's a ratio of two measurements having different units. So we were just talking about it, right? A ratio, it's a number to a number. You know, a 5 to 2 ratio. As soon as you put numbers, or I'm sorry, words or units on the 5 and the 2, it is called a rate. Okay, you could think of it that way. So it's kind of, a rate is a ratio with units on it. All right? And so, for example, 4 students to 2 tutors. Okay, that would be a rate. You're bicycling to school and you go, I don't know, 15 feet every 4 seconds. You're going pretty slow, but okay. And that would be a rate. Okay. So here we go. We have a rate and then we have a unit rate. Everyone? Unit rate. So here's what a unit rate is. It's a rate simplified so that it has a denominator of 1. A rate simplified so that it has a denominator of 1. So for example, we have 4 students with 2 tutors, but let's say this. We have, here's a student, here's a student, here's a student, here's a student. And you're like in lab and here's 2 tutors. Well, a unit rate would be something like, if you're just talking about these here, 2 students for 1 tutor. However, here's how we write it. 2 students per tutor. We have a very popular unit rate out there. I'll give you a hint. You sometimes see it if you're riding as a passenger in your parents' car. Does anyone know what that unit rate is? Let's talk about a unit rate. Well, you're close. Thank you for clarifying that. Yes, I didn't know that would be a hard question. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to stump you on that. Yes, miles per hour. That is a unit rate. Okay, carpooling is not a unit rate. There's no 2 units to it. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to be dealing with unit rates today. So here we go. Let's go ahead and let's grab our book and let's flip over to page 191. 191. Okay, so if we take a look at problem number 16, all right, many of you guys, thank you for putting your name up at the top. Page number is very important. Assignment number. All right, so if we're looking at number 16 on your homework, the directions say express each rate as a unit rate. So they give us a rate. They want to express it as a unit rate. It says round to the nearest tenth or to the nearest cent if necessary. Those are 2 different, by the way, those are 2 different place values, right? If you take a look up here, nearest tenth, right, is only 1 digit to the right of the decimal. That should be your answer, okay? The nearest cent, however, is actually to the nearest hundredth. So if it's talking about money, it wants you to round to the nearest hundredth, all right? This isn't talking about money. Here we go. Step 1. You're going to go ahead and you're going to take the two quantities and you're going to go ahead and let's write them in fraction form. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and put 400. Now, considering that we're talking about rates and not ratios, I'm going to write, this isn't a variable, I'm just writing it like an abbreviation. And this is 400 meters over, and then the second quantity is 58. And I'll just put, you can put S or SEC per seconds. Listen, if you do not have step 1, you're going to miss this problem. If you do not have step 1 in your work, you will miss it. If you have just an answer, you'll get it wrong. This writing a rate as a fraction form, you will see us use it all chapter long. And if you're going to try to get away with not doing it, you're going to hurt yourself later. So make sure we're writing this, because I see a lot of people trying to cut corners. Please don't do that. That's why this is an actual step. If I figured you didn't have to do this, I wouldn't make it a step. All right, please write that down. Now comes step 2. Here's what step 2 is. You're going to write what's called a proportion. We'll talk more about it. It's just an equal fraction. But here's what's important. Please make sure, I'm going to put a star by this, make sure that your units are side by side. Don't all of a sudden put seconds up at the top. Okay? This is meters. I'm keeping meters up on the top part of our ratio. Seconds stay on the bottom part of the ratio. Now, considering that they're asking for a unit rate, guys, our bottom number, that's a whole part of this, right? Our bottom number needs to be 1. Remember, it said the denominator is expressed as a 1. Step 4 is to solve. Okay? So, here we go. In this particular case for today, all I have to do is say 58 divided by 58 is 1. So 400 divided by 58, and that's where, of course, our calculator comes in. 400 divided by 58 equals, and look at that. So please listen, because some of us still need help on rounding. Remember, this isn't money, so I'm rounding the nearest tenth. The nearest tenth, remember we just talked about it, is the 1 digit to the right of the decimal. To be able to round it properly, I need to look at the digit in the hundredths. And considering that that digit is a 9, it's 5 to 9, right? Makes this number round up. So 6.89 becomes 6 and 9/10, 6.9. The 9 makes that 8 become a 9, so 6.9. Now, to get you guys prepared, I am also requiring this. If you do not do this, you'll get it wrong, so please be careful. Here we go. Step 5. We are going to express this like a normal unit rate, and here it goes. 6.9 meters per second. It's not per 1 second, per implies that it's for 1. 6.9 meters per second. That would be the rate, that would be a rate of speed. Now listen, we just wrote 5 steps. In all honesty, when you get good at this, and especially if you're using a calculator, you can go through those 5 steps probably within about 15-20 seconds. Okay? So it's not that hard. All right, I broke it down little by little. Okay, but please make sure that you're doing all 5 steps. Okay, I do hear some talking going on. So questions, guys? Ask now before I give you guys one to try. We're all right?
So we writing 6.9 meters per second?
Yes, your final that'll be your final answer. You guys, when we do word problems, you're going to see a lot of problems that are in this wording right here. And that's when I want you to read it. I want you to know exactly what it means. Okay? So, yes, I want your final answer to be written like that, at least on these type of problems. Okay? All right? Problem I want you guys to try out is problem 18. Problem 18. All right, go. Okay, anyone need more time? All right. Guys, if you are understanding those, then that top section right there on that book page, you can go ahead and continue. Okay, how many of you are still working on number 18? Okay. Okay, so first off, when you share, make sure you're sharing your unit rate, and it should be expressed just like this, or similar to that, of course. And the second thing is I want you to ask your neighbor to see their proportion, their equal fraction that looks like this. All right, so 30 seconds. All right, go.
Yeah, he said he wanted near tenths. Well, 6 is tenths.
Okay, here we go. All I want right now is just the answer. So here we go. All right, C29, not in here. Seat 30. Okay, agree, disagree. What do you guys have? Okay, few disagreements, agreement. Okay, anyone else want to share any other answers before we talk about it?
$8 per hour.
Okay. Any others? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going right through the steps. So I'm taking this information here in this sentence. I'm going to write it as a rate. So that is $60 over 8 hours. $60 over 8 hours. I'm going to then make an equal fraction. Units on top, side by side. Hours on the bottom. Now I do know that it's a unit rate that they're asking us for, so I'm going to have a 1. That tells me I'm going to divide both top and bottom by 8. So when I plug this in the calculator, 60 divided by 8 equals, and I get 7.5. So 7.5, ladies and gentlemen, remember when it comes to money, you're rounding to the nearest cent. The nearest cent, remember I said, is the nearest hundredths. 2 over from the right. Now, in this case, there's not 2 or even 3, right? It is just 1 over to the right. So that's actually the answer, 7.5, except that's not how we write money, right? We put a 0 right there. It's $7.50. No rounding needed. We just had to add that extra 0. So we turn around, and it is $7.50 per hour. Okay, questions on the money situation, the rounding.
So if it's like more numbers, we just like basically round it the same just from the hundreds one.
So if it was like, I don't know, I'm going to make something up, like 8.5926. Okay? So many of us are going to be tempted to be like, oh yeah, it's 8.6. Or even better yet, oh, I'm going to round it. It's 9. Yeah, you round. That's called the nearest dollar. That's not what you want. They're asking for the nearest cent. Here's your cents. If you want to think about this, these are your nearest cents. Not that they'll ever ask you to round to the nearest dime, but that's what that is, right? Think about money. Isn't that like 5 dimes and 9 pennies? That's what that is, right? 59 cents. So the nearest cent is this one right here, the hundredths. So the third one over, which is the thousands place, will let you know to round to the nearest hundredths. Okay? And in this case, right, that would just be 8.59. The 2 would make the 9 stay the same, so $8.59. Okay?
Do we write it, can we write it like this, $7,
I want you guys to use the word per. Yeah, guys, I'm going to be kind of strict on that just because, like I said, during this unit, you're going to see a lot of word problems that will use the word per. And I want it to become second nature, to see that and to know what they're asking for, what they're implying. Okay?
So you could just shorten it by saying $7.50 per hour. You don't have to put of work.
I mean, if you want to put of work, I'll give you a high five later if you'd like, a little extra credit if you'd like, but a little extra credit and high five, not points, but just high five extra credit. No, but you don't have to. Yeah, that's fine. $7.50 per hour. All right, guys. Any other questions? Okay. Now what we're gonna do? This is the basics. Now we're gonna use this skill to how to find a unit rate. We're gonna use it to solve an actual word problem, like a real life word problem. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and take a look at problem number 7. Problem number 7. All right. Let's go ahead and close read that. Here we go. Jamal is, everyone's with us, right? We're on page 191, problem number 7. Thank you, those of you that were with me. Here we go. Jamal is comparing of several different brands of peanuts. Which brand is the best buy? Explain. Okay. So we need to know which one is the best buy. Here's what they're asking for. Which one has the lowest unit price? And when you're talking about money, it's called unit price. But what that really is, which one has the lowest unit rate? That's what they're asking. Okay. So, of course, probably using some common sense, you have a good idea of what this is going to look like. But we'll do it together anyway. Here we go. All right. So we have, I'm going to go ahead and just really quickly abbreviate. You have it all in front of you. But I'm going to say, okay, the brand barrel is 10 ounces for $3.39. The brand Mr. Nut is 14 ounces for $4.54. And the brand Chips, they're selling 18-ounce bag for $6.26. All right, so step 1. Find the unit rate, guys, of all of them. Find the unit rate. So basically, these are like 3 of these problems right here. So here we go. I'm going to find out how much money it is per ounce, meaning I'm going to set it up where the dollars are on top, ounces are on the bottom. So we have 339 over 10. That hopefully is mental math for us. Why? Because we're dividing by 10, so all we're doing is we're moving the decimal one time. So moving the decimal one time. If you want to use a calculator, you can divide top and bottom by 10. If you don't understand what I'm saying by moving the, even though we just got done with scientific notation, 3.39 divided by 10 is 0.339. Now be careful, we're going to round to the nearest cent, right? So this is, oops, I already put the dollar sign. It is 34 cents per ounce. I'm going to change the color to make it clear where they don't get caught up here. All right, the next one, 454 over 14 ounces. Again, making it for 1 ounce. So 454 divided by 14 equals 0.324. That is 32 cents per ounce. Okay, as I look around, I have about 5 people writing nothing down. And those are going to probably be the same 5 people that give me their homework tomorrow without your proportion set. They're going, I'll just do all this in a calculator. Well, congratulations. I will not collect it from you. You'll get a 0. Please don't get a 0. Make sure you're writing these down. I'm getting you prepared. This unit is going to get a lot more challenging, and you're going to need all these basic skills that we're doing now and how to set proportions up. So please make sure you write it down. Okay. All right, and then the last thing is 626 for 18 ounces. I'm going to make that, of course, over 1 ounce. So I'm dividing both top and bottom by 18. So 626 divided by 18 equals, and that's 0.34. I round it, and it is 35 cents per ounce. All right, step 2. Ladies and gentlemen, which one's the better buy? Good. It's not, when I say which one's the better buy, do not say 32 cents per ounce. Okay? Don't answer it like that, right? It specifically asks, the question says, which brand is the best buy? Okay, so, yep, it is this one right here, which is Mr. Nut. So, we go ahead and write down step 3, and that is just give the answer. We have Mr. Nut, and it does ask to explain, so that means we need to follow with the word because. Because, and guess what I'm doing? I'm backing it up with all of my unit rates. Because it costs 32, well, I'll put 0.32 cents per ounce, while barrel costs 34 cents per ounce, bless you, and chips costs 35 cents per ounce. Period. And there it is. All you're doing, guys, is you're using your unit rates in the explanation. Sorry, there you go. All right, guys, questions on that type of problem?
How do you know, how do you know if, to put the ounce on top or, as the numerator or the denominator?
So, on this, it's usually, when it comes to money, your money is going to be on top. So, it's $5 per ounce, $6 per gallon of gas, right? So when it comes to money, and I don't think anything is going to be I'm kind of looking at your homework. I don't think anything's going to take off of that. Like I'm looking at the little chart there with the plates in the store, right? For I don't even know what is that, number 19, for example. So it's like what's the price per plate? So usually when you're talking about money, it's going to be your first thing. You'll put your item as your one, as your unit rate, as your denominator. Okay.
Do you have to write the whole thing down, or can you shorten it by saying this and that because they cost?
Nope. I'm going to stop you right there. You're not shortening that at all. I need all of that. You need to back up your answer with every single unit rate that is in your problem. Because if you say, that's this problem all over again, right? Some people on the test try to say, oh, it's because it doesn't repeat, period, and they missed it because that's not the only condition, right? This is the same kind of thing. Don't shorten it, guys, because you're backing it up saying barrel costs 34 cents an ounce, but I want to know if you know that chips, what if chips cost 31 cents an ounce? Back it up with your work. Make sure you label all the unit rates, okay? It's not like it's asking you to label 10 of them, right? So it's just 3 of them. So, sorry, I didn't want to be rude, but I know that that's what we try to always do is try to cut corners, and that's not the time to cut corners on your explanation, guys. Okay, other questions?
So for this, you said that the rate's going to be the lowest price. Is that going to be only for money, or is it going to be for anything? Or money?
Your unit.
So
Say,
it's going to be the lowest price?
yeah, because don't you want to pay less money per ounce? That's what makes it a better buy, because you have less money coming out of your pocket. Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions? Okay. Really quickly, before I have you guys try 20, I want you to take a look at number 22 really quickly. You may want to write this down, okay? 22 says a farmer's market sells ears of sweet corn. At this same rate, how much will it cost to buy 28 ears of sweet corn? So here's what you're going to want to do. You see on the box on the picture, it's 8 ears for $3.50. Find out how much, use your unit rate, find out how much 1 ear of corn costs. And then when it asks you how much is 28 going to cost, what would you do with that 1 ear? The price of 1 ear, you'd multiply by the 28. Okay, so it's one extra little step on that problem I wanted to make sure I talked about with you. All right, so that is the main part, of course, of unit rates. I want you guys to try out problem number 20.